you'll see from the group is a committed group. A group that when you watch play will both entertain you, but you'll be proud for how they're working for each other and working for the city of Chicago. I consider the Chicago Fire a sleeping giant.
Hey, what's up, everyone, and welcome back to Inside the Fire. I'm your host, Gabe Ramirez, bringing you behind the scenes of the Chicago Fire's 2025 season. And the men in red, they had a red-hot start on the road with 3 straight wins, and we're going to take a closer look at the momentum building inside this squad. In our most recent win against Vancouver, one of the key players, Philip Zinkernagel, netted his first MLS goal in the 62nd minute to put Chicago back on top, and I had the chance, the luxury of catching up with him right after the match. We talked about the current landscape of the team, how they've been adjusting with key players out, finding rhythm on the road, and how this group is coming together to make this a successful season. Here is Philip Zinkernagel. Let's get into it. What's up, everybody? It is Gabe Ramirez, and I'm super excited to be talking about the latest victory for the Chicago Fire against the Vancouver Whitecaps. And we get to do it with someone who played a pivotal role in the match. Of course, we talk about Philip Zinkernagel. Philip, it's good to chat with you, man.
You too, man.
Bamba into the edge of the 18. Friso had trouble handling it, and what a finish from Zinkernagel! And the first MLS goal for Philip Zinkernagel, and it puts Chicago back in front.
All right, so first, before we talk about the team, I really just want to talk about the win, right? I mean, it's the third on the road. It does a lot for a team that has a lot of new pieces. How do you feel personally, after a stretch like that?
No, like you said, massive win. Third on the row, amazing. Haven't been done in 16 years, which is pretty impressive. Just feels great. There's amazing vibe in the group at the moment, and being able to also go and win it against a team from the other conference is pretty big, because then you kind of get to grow on the table, which is pretty nice. And yeah, just really proud of the team. Especially,
you're missing some pieces, right? Guti gets the call up, Kellen's still dealing with injuries. What is that like, being on the road and knowing that you're missing some of your key components behind you?
I mean, obviously it's not ideal, but at the same time we have great players stepping up, and I think Sam played a great game. I think Mari's been good in the midfield the last couple of games, and I mean, it's good we have this competitive in the group, which means that once someone's out, there's another one ready to step up. And yeah, that's just great that we show that we have enough quality in the team to go and win even without 2 of our main players.
Yeah, obviously, there's so many things that have to go right in order to get a goal, but your pass, I mean, when you look at it from multiple angles, there's not much room for error right there with that pass. So my question to you is this: you could have taken the cross just on the floor, could have went up with it. As you're approaching the ball, what's the mindset there?
I think in general, just it's usually faster when it goes on the floor, and it's kind of easier to predict where he's gonna run into it. But I mean, it's just timing, you just have a feeling and then you just execute. And then Hugo is always there, so. Yeah.
Feels good to have somebody that can put it in the back of the net, make sure everything looks good, or else we're not talking about a play like that. Speaking of the back of the net, something that you were able to do at the back half of that game. Talk to me first, before we get to the goal, about, I think you do a phenomenal job on one side, and then have Bamba on the other side. I mean, geez, if you're Hugo or anybody playing in the midfield, I mean, you're 2 guys that are playing at a high quality. What can you say about Bamba on the other side when you see him out there?
Bamba has a lot of qualities. He's been playing at high level, and he's always kind of he must be so annoying for the other defenders, he's always at them, he's direct, he's going in behind, he's on the ball. So like you said, just for Hugo to have him on the one side and then me on the other side must be pretty good, because he knows that there can be chances out of nowhere, which is something that Bamba definitely had that quality too. So I mean, yeah, I like it so far.
Yeah.
So I hope he does too.
Of course. So you're following the play, where you're scoring a goal, and Bamba has it on the outside. You get inside the box. What is it like, because for the average person, for me or you watching at home, we don't know what that chaos is like when there are bodies around you, a ball is somewhat loose, and the opportunity for a goal is there. Talk to me about that.
It's probably just instinct, you're getting into the box and you kind of trying to win the ball, and then kind of reacting, playing on your instincts, and there's the space, you see some space and you go for it, and sometimes it works, and in this game it did.
Get it with the left foot. Does it feel like a chip off your shoulder, or in that moment you just feel like you're contributing to the team's success at that point?
Obviously, it's amazing to score, and even better when that's the deciding goal of the game, and just a away trip as well. So the overall feeling is great, But again, the goal in itself is not so important who scores, but it's important that we are getting into moments where we can score, and I think we look dangerous in every game, and we have that ability to kind of score out of nowhere, which is something that most teams don't have, which is,
We want you guys following the action all season long. Chicago Fire certainly making that path to the playoffs, and we hope we can get there, and this guy is gonna be a big part of it. Philip, appreciate you, man.
See you, Phil.
I don't think overconfidence is an issue. I think complacency is an issue. We want to have confidence in our group. We work very hard to build the confidence of the team, really relying on each other, relying on the qualities that they have, to bring out the best of the team. But we also don't want them to be complacent. We know it's a very difficult game against Montreal. We're not taking anything for granted. The first team talk of the week was about that. We can't be complacent. This is a team that is good, and even though the record doesn't show it, or their place in the standings doesn't show it, they're a very dangerous team. So we have to be aware, and we have to come into the game trying to get our first home win of the season. So we have a milestone also that we're trying to achieve. The team made the playoffs last year. The team has a very clear identity. They're playing with some very young players. They think at times they play really well.
Pierce whips the ball in beautifully towards goal. It goes. Now then, Montreal back on level terms, and it's their new number 9, Prince Owusu.
And it's not a magic bullet. It really is. Every day you compete to win, and if you do that over and over again, it becomes part of who you are. And that's what we're focused on this year is really taking accountability for what we put into matches, what we're willing to invest in matches to get wins, and understanding that if we don't invest enough, it's going to be very hard to get those wins. And so for us, it's focused on each and every day of training, trying to get better. Let's focus on each and every match that's ahead of us, and not really focusing too much on what's behind us or what's in the future. And I think there's a good mood within the team. It's always nice to see them interacting off the field as well, but overall the spirit's good in the team, and we want to just keep building and improving.
I'm so excited, man. I miss the Fire fans. I miss Soldier Field. I can't wait. It's amazing to win away, but it's not the same as winning at home. So let's go Fire.
Welcome to Chicago, Illinois. The Fire are back in the Windy City. Let's get into the team news. It's been going great for Chicago, 3 straight wins.
You're talking about mentality, you talk about structure, you talk about leadership. All have been in play in the first 5 matches so far in 2025.
We all work together. Come on, the energy high. Everything we do is as a group, is as a unit. Let's go do this. 1, 2, 3, fire! There you go, let's go.
Chicago, Montreal. We're getting ready for all the action on a beautiful evening here in the Windy City.
Great atmosphere in here tonight. Enjoy this. Come on now. All right. 1, 2, 3, fire! Come on, boys.
And we are underway.
Prefiere la primera, disparo! Brady.
Advantage played, Owusu. Inside track, Brady save.
Este cambiar puede venir el primero, otra vez Brady. Cerca 3.
Bamba to the left, Zinkernagel to the right. The recovery there by Waterman. Oh, it's off the post!
Cabezazo, Pineda al palo. Bamba se la dio a Goodman. Levanta la cabeza, vamos a ver a Andrew. Le puede pegar, ya se le enredó un poco. Alcanzó a sacar el tiro.
Philip Zinkernagel has scored in back-to-back games. They lead in the 40th minute. The Chicago Fire leading at 1-0.
If you wanted it to,
Chicago looking to protect their winning streak. Would love to see if they can get that defensive setup and a clean sheet.
Everyone together. Winner free. 1, 2, 3, win.
It is absolutely dumping to start this second half.
Plenty of space on this near side. Petrasso, his cross wide open far side. Sealy, there it is!
1/150th minute here at Soldier Field.
Pressure, Brady's way off his line. He clipped Owusu, open goal mouth, still not cleared Brady. It is going to be hidden by Pineda. The flag is up. The Chicago Fire 3-game winning streak ends. However, their 5-game unbeaten streak continues.
You know, I told the group, we'll take the point and run because we didn't deserve a point. It was a poor performance by us. And I think I'm most disappointed with the competing in it. I think that's what I missed a little bit. And I think we came up short in that end. You know, we want to give the fans more than that.
The winning streak may have come to an end, but the Fire managed to grab a point at home in the 1-1 draw. Not the result they were aiming for, but another lesson learned. All right, coming up, can the team bounce back and pick up 3 points as they hit the road for another Eastern Conference clash? More Inside the Fire coming up next. Welcome back to Inside the Fire. After a 1-1 draw at home, the Fire are back to work, making adjustments and sharpening their approach ahead of another test. This time on the road against New York Red Bulls. Let's see how the fellas fare.
You know, you want to play well, you want to play 100% game all the time, but you can't. And I think the key is when you don't play your best game, still getting something out of it. And we did. We got a point out of the game. And so from that standpoint, we keep moving forward. But we're looking at the process of building this team, you know, the result, trying to chase a shutout. You know, it's really about, you know, continuing to build our defensive principles, our defensive structure, and really become a team that's difficult to break down, more difficult to break down. And for us, it's a great challenge. You know, we want to learn from Montreal, build from that. It was a poor performance offensively, and really analyze, okay, what could we have done better, and try to apply it against Red Bull. But the team has been, you know, scoring enough goals lately, and you know, we need to continue to do that. The players weren't happy with the performance either. So it was really about them doing a really good job of taking accountability, all of us taking accountability, and then just moving forward. You know, we have a process, we believe in the group, and we want to continue to do better.
We talked this week just about, you know, being more aggressive, being on the front foot, winning duels, and, you know, trying to play forward and exploit the spaces that teams leave, you know, when they are trying to press us. You know, but I think last week was a good learning experience for us because, you know, not every game we're going to be able to play our best style of play. But at the same time, if that doesn't happen, we have to figure out a way to get a result and get a win. And I think that this was a good lesson for us to take from it and try to grow from it. For us, it's just to have a response from last weekend. The good thing about it is we get to play another game this weekend. You know, this week we really focused on just kind of putting the Montreal game behind us and trying to get back to how we've been playing the last few weeks. You know, and I think the team will respond pretty well, and hopefully we can go to New York and get a win.
A very warm welcome to Sports Illustrated Stadium for Red Bull New York and Chicago Fire. Matchday 7 and a clash of 2 huge sporting superlatives. A fixture rich and ripe with history. A matchday so often given major meaning to it. Red Bull New York beyond comfort on home soil. Chicago Fire's locker room perhaps the most notably improved. A mentality shift accompanied by several new stars sees Greg Berhalter's side turning heads amongst one of the best starts in club history. So then, the atmosphere building nicely for matchday 7 in Major League Soccer. Does it open up something here for Chicago? Zinkernagel. It's Bamba. He must. And does. Valencia across, heading towards goal. Fabulous finish. Supermoting in. Now then, immediately the referee says penalty. Yes, he can, and how? Choupo-Moting! The save from Brady. So there goes the final whistle. Red Bull rejoice, doing just about enough to sustain superiority at home and push aside Chicago Fire and beat them by 2-1.
And just like that, the Fire's unbeaten streak ends with a tough 2-1 loss on the road to New York Red Bulls. But it was cool to see Kellen Acosta make his return, but the entire evening was an uphill battle, especially with key defenders sidelined. But there was a silver lining. Jonathan Bamba, the magician, opened his MLS account with his first goal for the Fire. Now, all eyes turn to Soldier Field, where the Fire are gearing up for their biggest challenge yet, Inter Miami. The Fire gotta stay focused, because Inter Miami CF is stacked with international stars, and they come to town riding some serious momentum. But it's not just the players getting ready. The fans are hyped too, because everyone knows how important it is to have home field advantage.
It's unlike anything I've ever experienced. There's a few more nerves, a lot more emotion involved.
Underway in front of a sold-out Soldier Field.
Staying in that tunnel, seeing all the fans, sea of red basically, and hearing all the roar. It's just a rush of adrenaline.
Great atmosphere in here tonight. Let's use that and win this game.
Like I said, there's nothing like it. That feeling is unmatched.
This match has been turned on its head.
The atmosphere for a Fire game at Soldier Field is just different. It's not something you'll find at any other venue for any other team.
Here's Gutierrez! Oh, wow!
It's like a roar that came from the bottom up, and it just encourages you to scream even louder.
You have to be there to experience it. There's no words to describe it.
You hear that? Chicago Fire at home against Inter Miami. In both matchups, Soldier Field was packed. And the atmosphere, it was unreal. Because playing in front of a full house is what makes this match so special for us. And we got a squad that's worth seeing. Brian Gutierrez, one of the most exciting young players in MLS. And Hugo Kuipers, one of the top goal scorers in the league this season.
This one flipped toward the back post, and this one is knocked home.
And then there's Jonathan Bamba, keeping us on the edge of our seats every time he touches the ball. And local wonder Chris Brady, who's one of the best goalies in MLS.
Saved by Brady to push it up over the bar.
And of course, there's the rest of the squad. Guys that bring it all every time they represent for our city. Look, this Fire team, we don't fear anyone. And we want to go up against the best that MLS has to offer.
Cross is there, and there's the goal! Philip Zinkernagel has scored in back-to-back games. Let's go!
Chicago Fire FC versus Inter Miami, April 13th, Soldier Field. See you there. Fire fans always show up, bringing the energy, the excitement, and the noise to Soldier Field every single match. So don't miss your chance to be a part of it all season long. Come out, get loud, represent our city, represent our men in red. That's what we want to see. All right, it is a wrap for Inside the Fire, but trust me, there is so much more to come this season. So keep it locked right here for more exclusive interviews, more behind the scenes, and more Chicago Fire. I am Gabe Ramirez. Thanks so much for watching, y como siempre, like always, vamos Fire.